Well, imagine that you're a really big, strong guy trying to push a car, and your feet just keep sliding on the ground. Can't get no traction. Well, that means you have a very low BL or low motor force. You are the voice coil. No matter how strong the voice coil is, if it has nothing to push against, it can't do its job. You see, the magnetic field that your magnet creates is what counteracts the movement of the coil, right? So as you introduce alternating current into this voice coil, it energizes the coil and makes it a magnet, right? Makes it a magnet that moves up or down, depending on the frequency of that alternating current. Well, what it pushes against to move is the magnet. The field that magnetic creates is part of what makes up the BL. Also, how tight the gap is around the coil, that makes up the BL as well. But for today's purposes, for the basic, what I call the crayon definition, or the paint by numbers, or the kindergarten version, the thing you need to remember is a higher BL means higher motor force. And higher motor force means more traction for you to push that car. So whenever you're looking for a subwoofer, looking at the BL is important. It needs to balance out the amount of power that coil is trying to produce. If you've got a very small voice and you're putting a very small amount of power in it, you don't need much of a speaker magnet to counteract it and give it, because there's not a whole lot of force being applied to it. A small magnet can do the job. But if you're putting tons of power in a big old fat coil and you're expecting it to be able to push against something, the thing it's pushing against needs to have some serious power. That's where motor power or motor force, or neodymium magnets in the case of that, maybe, or just large ferrite magnets, that's where that comes into play. Also, the amount of distance those magnets go down creates a longer gap for the coil to be able to move through. And the longer that stack of magnets is, the more distance that coil can move up and down, and the better it can reproduce those low notes. So if you take a look at this, you'll see the magnet in there going, the coil going up and down inside that magnet. Well, that magnet is providing that traction for that coil to move up and down. It's all an important part of a very complex device that engineers work very hard to get just right. And there's always sacrifices too. The larger and heavier the voice coil is, and the larger and heavier this voice coil former is, the lower the frequency it's going to want to play, and the worse it's going to be at playing higher frequencies. Just goes on and on and on. Also, the larger the diameter of a coil is, the less spider you have to move and allow it to move. You see, this spider is what controls the movement. And if you have a really big coil, you end up with very little ability for that to move in and out. Smaller coils give you more room. Smaller coils don't get rid of heat as well. Like I said, trade off one or the other. So it isn't what's best. It isn't that one thing is better than everything else. It's that certain components and certain design features give you different advantages and disadvantages. And so depending on what job you're actually trying to do, what specific thing you're wanting your subwoofer to excel at will dictate what components and what design features will work best in your specific situation. There is no one size fits all best for anything. So understanding how these things work together and how they interact and how the design features affect the outcome and the performance of the device is important for an educated shopper to be able to buy something that's going to do the job you want it to do. Anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. And if it was, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're looking for a good, low-cost, high-powered, serious subwoofer, look no further than Oblivion. Slapz audio, man. We got the Smackdown, we got the Oblivion, we got a whole line of speakers coming soon. They got amplifiers, got amp wiring kits, all the good stuff. If you go to their site, be sure to use my coupon code CAE and send them a message. Let them know I sent you. Hopefully I was helpful for you guys today. Peace.